go. Let me roll that down, roll this up here. Jerry Todd Show. Welcome to Co-Video Live TV, episode XX, episode 20. I can't believe we've been doing this now for so many weeks. That would be episode 20 that we're into. We got a couple musical guests lined up, entertaining folks, both of them. But before we do, I just want to say hello. Welcome to the show. Make sure all my meters are set. Any live viewers, I usually like to comment on the first person that shows up. Where is my logo? Oh, we got it. Sorry, I'm all panicked a little bit. All right, here we are. I guess we should just go right to the virtual green room. We got a lot to talk about tonight, so we'll just go right to the virtual green room and bring in our first guest. Let's give a nice Co-Video Live TV welcome to Mr. Don Barron. Oh, first guest checking in, Don, Tammy Smolin. Do you remember her?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I can recall her from back in the day. Yeah,
my first wife. Yes. So, Don, you were involved in you first and current. You were involved in my our initial inaugural episode 1, which was in limited release. It only appeared on Facebook, if you can recall. So, if anybody's wondering why our YouTube presence begins with episode number 2. It was episode number 1 on YouTube, rather on Facebook, and Don was one of our first guests, and I'm forever indebted to you for doing that. Thank you, Don.
Thank you. And can I put that on my resume if I'm looking for a job that I was on the COVID-19, Co-Video show? I would love to be, if I could put that on, that would be great.
Certainly. The videos remain online for in perpetuity, I guess, until we have a major copyright or a major scandal, and I got to pull the whole thing down. But that is part of the point. Interesting. The more shows that we get under our belt, it is not only a way for us to get through this, but it will be something of a record for the future.
Yeah, well, once again, I'm looking forward to got season 2, season 3, and it's great to see the technological changes. Pretty soon, you're going to be having the streamer on the bottom, giving updates about nothing that's going on right now, I guess. So.
It's called a crawl, and I have been thinking about what funny thing I could put on there. Just like it would require somebody making quick adjustments, like reading the comments or whatever. So I really would need to get a producer. If the whole teaching thing just goes south, if the e-learning gets you written up and fired, maybe you could come over and be my producer.
Oh, I would love to do that. Yeah, I can put my Commodore VIC-20 skills right to the test there for you.
Do you have any blank floppies? Because I'm almost out.
Yeah, I'm using one to hold my beer right now as a coaster.
But it's got that hole in the center, though. I don't know. Maybe it just lets all the moisture disappear. How have you been getting through with the e-learning? Everybody knows Mr. Barron, teacher in a local school. Can we say local school without naming the school you're at?
Oh, you can say to school. That's fine. Homewood Flossmoor High School. I'm proud to say that. You know what? In all actuality, it's going pretty good. It was a rough adjustment at first with the technology, but once you get used to the system and get it down, it's kind of neat. In a weird sense, it's a cool dynamic. I got mostly seniors, and you feel awful for them, with all these things going on with their sports and their prom and everything, and they're obviously their mindset isn't going to be like they want to learn econ, but what I teach, but you learn some good things about them too. The dialogue, they miss you as a teacher, and I miss them. And, we try to have daily dialogue and a lot of different things. And they'll be upfront and telling you, man, they enjoyed the class. And it's the real challenge in teaching is that you got to keep their spirits up. You can't overwhelm them with too much information, but, that's your job. Part of it is just life lessons. And, some of that is outside the classroom of adjusting. And I'm a student right now as we speak, so I'm actually no better than they are. I have to learn, I have to adjust and embrace the technology. But in a weird sense, it's as sad as this whole case is. But there is some good coming out of it. You learn that your students respect you, and I miss my students as well.
Have you done, you said interaction, or I forget the word exactly you used. Have you done any live stuff, or are you talking just feedback via email or some sort of instant messaging, texting, or whatever? How's it going? How are you doing that?
Well, I got to get a little bit more innovative as far as maybe coming up with some YouTubes, or I'm skeptical when it comes to the live stuff and getting everybody all. There's something called Zoom, I believe, that's a big thing that some teachers are using, but there's pratfalls with that. Students are still students, and if you're not careful, there's some things you'll be sorry for that you have on there. So I have found something that's pretty cool. It's called eCreations. I must give a plug to that, and
Mhm.
it's kind of neat. It's similar to a Khan Academy where you're able to give the audio, and then on a iPad you can write out your lesson. And especially when you have a lot of math like economics, it's pretty cool to give explanations and hands-on things with that. And so obviously they don't have to see me in my pajamas, or if I'm hungover and teaching and I look like hell, I can just basically, as long as my voice is still right and I can deliver the goods, throw in a couple good one-liners, they're enjoying it. So
So
e-creation.
e-creation. So you're creating signs. Is it like a whiteboard you can write on, or you just have to create your slides in advance, like a PowerPoint or whatever?
You can do both. It's pretty cool. So I tried to, hey man, the professional that I am, at first I'll put everything in a typewritten form, and then you just kind of improvise, with the notes on top of it with the audio. So you have the set template, so to say, you can make yourself, and then you can rock and roll from there on, man.
Hey,
Good stuff.
you said you feel sorry for the seniors, and I'm hearing a lot of that. The eighth grade, the seniors, the college seniors that are up against graduation. There, any word from the Illinois side of things on what? I mean, full credit will be given for these courses. They're not going to make anybody repeat anything. Colleges given any indication what colleges are going to do regarding accepting or not accepting grades earned now or anything?
Well, Ron, I live one day at a time, so I'm not necessarily. All I know is April 30th is what so far tentatively, when we can go back. But from my understanding, they're going to accept all the credits, and I really don't know that much from there on.
Oh,
They're asking that we make the material doable for the kids, so it's not so overwhelming, because there are obviously a lot of things on their mind and so forth. So, but that's basically all I know, man, is that, they're going to accept the credit for the work that they're given. And in our particular case, there's still a final exam in limbo, but I'm talking, teacher talk, and that's boring.
right. No, people probably want to know about your new hobby of raising tropical birds.
Oh, did you hear this thing in the back? Yeah, it's a gift from my mother-in-law. Yeah, by my best friend there. That's Archie. Hi, Archie. Night, 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 night. Yeah.
Nothing. Does
Mhm.
it speak? He speak? Yes.
Basic words, kind of, like me after a few drinks. Just
A lot of
night,
cussing.
night. Yeah, cussing. Yeah, you'll call me some naughty words every now and then. Let's see, what's another one? Sexy. I think Foxy. He'll say every now and then. Foxy. Yeah.
It's
So,
sounding sounding good there. First, I thought it was Amber. I thought you'd been yelling at the kids so much your voice was going out. It was just kind of down to a screech. So,
well,
no.
the one thing I would suggest is if you're ever doing any renovating in the house, is stay away from hardwood floors, because it just echoes. You can hear through everywhere in the house. Or just that thing you can hear. I mean, upstairs, downstairs, and conversations. So stick with carpet. It's
Gotcha.
like home and food.
No, I appreciate it. So, yeah, you definitely have been working on something else coming up, possibly. Last we spoke, we were talking about canceled gigs, and now you think you might have
Mhm.
something penciled in the schedule. What do you got?
Big breaking news is everything comes all right. Okay. And we're back in action. Rose and Golden, May 2nd at the Buddy and Pals in Crown Point. So they're scheduled to open up, I think, May 1st, which is a Friday. So May 2nd, the return, man, I got to get back in shape to put on the tights, man. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Are you guys practicing remotely, sharing, doing any kind of internet-based rehearsals, Zoom-based rehearsals?
You got to remember, we're a 70s band, so still technologically we're stuck in the 70s. So none of that. It's all about old-fashioned rehearsal, like Rocky Balboa,
Mm.
training in Rocky 4. He's out in the mountains in Siberia. So we just got to work out on our own with primitive type of technology and go with it, man. But part of that is pretty fun though too. That nervous energy of who's going to screw up and if you pull off the song. You know, it's
I think if it's the people's first night out after a long hibernation, you could do whatever, and I think it would be enjoyable as long as the bar's open.
Yeah, well, that's the story of my life. Just pick. That's the one rule. You pick easy songs too. You can't screw up a lot of 3 chord numbers there.
You said that the place is kind of echoey in there, so is that resonance helpful when you're practicing your vocals, working on new material?
Well, what I have to do, and this is kind of funny, is I usually take about 40-minute drives, and I go, and that's when I do my my comedy or writing or the vocal practice. I can't dare do it in the house, no, because it's brutal. It's brutal. Nobody wants to hear scales and all sorts of strength building stuff. It's a lot behind the scenes, man.
Got it. Hey, gonna mention a couple commenters here. We got Marty Lucas. You remember our good friend Marty, right?
Oh, Marty, all right. What's happening, big boy?
Jessica
Woo!
Roberts is in the house. Disco Don Chaya, Heidi Feigl Figgle. You're gonna have to give me a pronunciation in the comments there. See you on the show. Thanks for joining us regularly, and of course Tammy is on board as well. Anybody that you want to say hello to that you haven't seen in a while that may be watching? We have a worldwide audience here, Don. Use it well. The Bully Pulpit.
Oh, well, a lot of the fans from Rosengolden, man, got to give a shout out to them. I miss you guys, the St. Mike's crew, all those names that you were mentioning, but it's just like blast from the past. We miss you, had some great times, and God would love to get together sometime, and my fellow teachers at school and just everybody, you're locked up. You just, makes you appreciate how much you miss people, man. There's a lot to it, but you learn from your family as well, though. The time that you're spending, this whole thing is pretty cool. You learn a lot about your kids and doing different things, and so it's kind of, there's the good and the bad, obviously. But
you mentioned in the pre-show that when this all is over, you wanted to get out and do some teepeeing with all that extra, those 40 pallets of toilet paper you got in your garage. You figured we can get out and do some teepeeing.
Yeah, that I've been pretty creative, though. I've made like chairs. I stacked them all, and made like a little chair and some tables and stuff. So they're soft. It's actually quite comfortable.
So you moved on, because when we spoke in our first episode 3 weeks ago, you were spending time with the family, separating the 2-ply into 2 rolls of 1-ply just to make sure it lasted, right?
Oh yeah, and we reuse it as well, though. I mean, if it's manageable, then like kind of wring it out a little bit, and do it again. Yeah.
Hey, in all seriousness, have you been out? Some of the current guidance was to make sure you're wearing a mask or something if you get out. Have you been following that, doing the homemade bandana or something, or no?
Well, I try not to get out too much, but I haven't. I'll admit I haven't been wearing a mask, but it's kind of weird. Maybe it's just goofy. I do a lot of weird breathing exercises. So I'll take a good inhale. And if I know I'm walking down an aisle and if there's people that happen to be around, or it's a slow, kind of like yoga when you're shopping, a slow exhale through the nose and see how long that you can keep it. I don't know if that's funny or not, but I mean, it's kind of
know if it works.
that I do, but I actually do that. It's my own goal.
I was mentioning that too. When I've been to the only stores lately is grocery stores. So when you're out shopping, the mandatory shopping, I breathe shallower. I start to get a little lightheaded because I'm not breathing in deep. I'm afraid to breathe something and I keep my mouth shut. I hardly talk, which is hard for me to do. And when I get on the parking lot, I'm like one of these Chilean coal miners that got rescued, and big deep breath, right? It's just crazy. But, Don, I forgot something. Where is it? For your safety, I apologize. I forgot to do a temporal scan before the show started. I don't want to pass something on. Dead on 98.6. We're good.
Great station.
We are good. 98. What is 98? 98.7 is the classical. Who's 98.6?
Yeah, it might be a Mormon station or something. Who knows?
Sideband of the classicals. All right, Don. Anybody else or any upcoming events, movies, video, books, anything that you're plugging that you've been working on that you want to tell our audience about?
Well, I think with Rose and Golden, we're digging into some new territories. I'm kind of excited. We're constructing a Duran Duran medley, which is pretty cool. So I always enjoy kind of digging into some different material and the challenge of singing different singers and different styles and so many songs to choose from. So I think we probably won't have it ready for the May show, but come June, that's going to be pretty cool. That's like a neat project. The songs to pick, the order, when to splice them in at what parts of different songs. So that's yeah.
Looking forward to it, Don. Fingers crossed that we're able to see you on May 1st or very soon after that. Can't wait to get out and have a beer with you at the next show.
Oh, absolutely, man. And I'll let you buy. It's cool, man.
All right. Yeah, thank you. All right, I'm going to cut you off here. Thanks again for joining us. Maybe we can have you could be our first three-time appearance if I call you back in about a couple. Yeah, triple dipping. Thanks for joining us on episode Double X. All right, Don.
Thank you, sir.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right, guest in, guest out. There he goes. That was Don Barron. He's a personal acquaintance, close friend of Richard Rosengold, and that's how he's getting that inside info before anybody else. All right, we're going to roll up the logo here, get our second guest on. Stand by. Co-Video Live TV, episode 20, Double X. All right, and we are back. A couple people adding to the comments during the intermission here. I see Michael Sankowski says hello. He's conversing there with Heidi. That's a nice lead into our next guest. What do you know? I'll be damned. Our next guest, let's say a nice Co-Video Live TV welcome to Mr. Mike Sankowski. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Rod.
Get that arrow off your face. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. Got yourself oriented? Okay. You got the nose right in the middle of the picture like I told you?
I think so. I'm like kind of hunching over a little bit to make it all work, but yeah, I think this will work.
We're getting pretty good, upload bandwidth here, so don't squander it, man. We got a lot of viewers. We're peaking. I think everything looks good. Audio's looking good, and you're sounding good. So what's new with you, man? Great. Where are we seeing you? You said you were at your office, working from home, late.
Oh yeah, I was out with my brother Patrick. Just right when you called there, I was heading over to Patrick's house to pick up an amplifier. I was going to do a little bit of recording tonight, and I was going to pick up that amplifier, and so I got over to Patrick's house, and I say, hey, I'm going to be on Co-Video TV tonight. He goes, what? What's that? And so I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you. I think your marketing department, I don't know if it's Mitch or Cassie who's in charge of that, but I think they need to step up to the plate a little bit here, because Patrick didn't even know that there was Co-Video TV. And this is apparently, double X episode, the extra large episode right here. Yep, so, yeah, the 20th episode. It's 20 episodes. Yeah.
20, yeah. It's very much an organic approach to marketing. It's that I found that to be very effective. What happens is I just don't have the time to do it. I put so much time into getting the show on the road and making it look good.
It looks good.
Pleading with, arranging, coming to terms with guests like you. That they're just.
I did have to fit it into my busy schedule. Right. I did. I had so much going on. You're lucky you caught me.
There's a lot to be done. I do want to address what your bone to pick with me. There is a lot that could be. There is additional work that could be done to promote the show. And way back near episode 1 or 2 or episode -1, I thought maybe this thing will take off. It'll be viral. It'll be hilarious. It really hasn't, and I haven't put the effort in to make it do that. But I think
Mm-hmm.
we fill an important spot of providing this kind of entertainment to a fairly small group. It's growing gradually. It's growing, but we provide an important service to people, and I'm happy with that. I don't need to see a
Great.
billion followers to make it
Okay.
worth it for me. It's worth it for
Uh-huh.
me. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been entertaining to me. I've seen probably 6 or 7 episodes here. I was fortunate enough to see part of the episode with your mom,
Yep.
and a lot of times, for whatever reason, too, my subscription on the YouTube doesn't exactly inform me that there's going to be an episode that night. So a lot
I
of
have
times,
heard that.
I've been okay. There's a co-video episode. I turn it on. It was yesterday. I'm like, oh, what? I want to see it live. I want to see the actual live part of this rather than the delayed reaction. Which is all fine to binge watch.
Yeah.
See a lot of episodes at once or see episode that you've missed.
Yeah.
But you feel like you could almost ask a question if it's live and just kind of put it out there. Maybe if there's something you want to say, hey, Mrs. Smallin, hope everything is great with you, and say hello or something along those lines.
Or Heidi, you and Heidi, who were communicating there in the chat going on right now. Yep.
Exactly. Or Larry Gorsuch, a big shout out to Larry. And but I didn't see it until later. I saw it after it happened.
If somebody in the chat or comments could note how exactly to do that, because I get notified when the show's on, I know right away.
Right.
But if I honestly don't know, somebody asked me already about how to do that. I know there somewhere's got to be a simple setting in the level. Maybe they put the wrong email in. I have no idea. But notifications on your subscription should be set pretty straight up there. You mentioned binge watching. Yeah, people are talking about this, that, Netflix, binge that, whatever. My suggestion was to binge watch all 19 previous episodes is my strong recommendation. I told somebody to do that, and they got back to me and said it turned more into like bulimia watching because they watched a few minutes and felt like throwing up. But you can't win them all. You can't win them all. I think I'm hoping that this episode here is gonna peak. Double X is gonna put us over the edge, Mike, and I'm glad you can be a part of it.
I mean, do you think? I think Andy and Chris Kuchka, Andy Astor and Chris Kuchka, do you think they even know about this? My guess is they may not.
I don't even remember. I assume so much. I assume people know. Maybe the organic marketing approach hasn't reached them.
Right, because we were just out in Tucson, Arizona, with me and Jeff, and then Andy and Chris, and we were talking. We were hoping that you could be out there. Of course, you were missed, very much missed. We had a great weekend, a great time, just hanging out and talking the whole time. We were fortunate enough to have Mackenzie Wondowski and Chris Kuchka's daughter, Carly Kuchka, out there. And it was kind of funny. It was great to see it because I know that their parents hang out. Larry and the Kuchkas hang out, and then Chris and Jeff hang out. And then to see the third generation actually hanging out together was just ridiculously heartwarming. And then on top of it, it was pretty obvious they were friends without us at all, and they didn't need us one iota, and they were just hanging out and having a good time completely independently of anything Chris and Jeff did. So it was cool to see.
Can we back up for those who may not be acquainted? I've got some new viewers here. Hello, Suzanne Smolin, my Larry's wife, and checking in from Nashville. She says, hi, Ron, or hi, Ron. The connection between you and me, you and I were classmates at Our Lady of Grace, class of '82. We had first grade there, right, from Highland, Indiana. Mike Harmon was there. He's also in the Scummy Fish, right, as you are. There's a connection there. Your brother Pat also plays with the Fish. You're Highland guys too. But the other names that you mentioned are contemporary or classmates, going way back of ours. Andy Esser, Chris Kuchka, Jeff Wondowski. Jeff was on the show. Did you see that episode yet?
I did see that episode. Yes, I did see the episode. That's another bone I have to pick with you. And this is episode 20, Ron. I thought I might be up a little bit higher in the hierarchy of episodes.
Your writer, your contract. I had to add a legal staff. I'm in the red now. I'm thinking of monetizing this just to pay for the legal review I had to do for your contract just to get you on. So.
Oh well, yeah. I sorry about that, but those guys, they got to earn their bread too, right? So everyone gets a slice.
That's right. A few crumbs. I sweep up some crumbs at the end. You know what I say? The high seas raise all ships. So what have you been doing? How you been killing the time, spending the time?
I've been doing a tremendous amount of music over the last couple of weeks here since the COVID really hit. We had recorded some stuff, Ron, you and I, years and years ago, and then we actually we forgot about it. We didn't even remember ever recording this song. And so Mike Herman had sent it to me maybe 6-8 months ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
And the recording of it is just not that great of a recording. It's a great song, but not a great recording. And so I've kind of gone through and began to kind of reconstruct it note for note for note in the computer program. And Ron, you're an amazing drummer. You're just astonishingly good. So, I mean, it's something that comes out when you're trying to do it note for note. You know, like a lot of times you can just kind of set a beat and forget about it. And with you, that's simply not an option, because you're just doing all these little extra little ghost notes and stuff like that makes it sound just amazing.
Accidental stuff. Sloppy,
I don't know about that.
Accidental
It just sounds good. It just sounds really good. So
right.
I've been kind of doing a lot of music with that. It's, you know, there's extra time for that. So, you know, you can't go out, you can't really visit with friends, or, you know, and so the things that you're able to do are a little bit more limited. And so I've been able to focus on that for better or for worse. I don't know if I'm half insane from it or not. I can't tell anymore.
It's we all get a little bit crazy, if I can quote Kevin Cronin, you know, sometimes keep pushing on is what you do.
Sure.
The music, it was over a year ago. It was last year's Music for the Heart, the Mark Sharp event. I want to get Mark back on, or get him on Co-Video Live TV here to talk about that. That's been postponed this year, but it was last year's Music for the Heart where we reunited and put a lot of work in, a lot of hard work. Shaking the rust off and remembering the songs, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Let's just tell the story really quickly. You know, back in the day, the Scummy Fish, we used to, you know, if we had a gig and we hadn't played in a while, we just kind of get together, play the songs once or twice, and like we were all ready to do it. And this time we go, okay, you know, let's try getting together. We knew the gig was in April. Let's get together and play a couple times, and we should be ready for it. And we got together in January, and which turned out to be incredibly fortunate, because we didn't remember any of the songs. We couldn't play. We had to basically become a Scummy Fish cover band, and learn the songs from scratch. You know, because we just didn't remember how they went. We had to listen to the tape and say, oh yeah, I used to play it like this, and you know, the lyrics and stuff like that. I had to write them all out, and it just started from that. And it did not sound very good the first 2 or 3 practices,
had
if
its
you
ups
recall.
and downs. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
Hey, cowards live in the past. I'm looking forward to when we can get back together and write some new stuff and get jamming again with the Dullies, or formerly known as the Dullies, the Unhappy Hour. I can't wait to get back drumming again. It's just not the smart thing to do. How have you been spending your time socially distancing and still trying to maintain some sort of a sense of community?
Oh yeah, you know, I actually went to a party on Friday night. Of all things, I went to a party. Yes, I did. And I was invited to, we went up to some friends in Oak Park, and it was just really just the 2 couples and our kids. And so we've been friends with these people for the Mahonies, Kathy and James, for 10 years now. Our sons are dear friends. They met in pre-kindergarten. So they're now sophomores in high school, and they've been friends the whole time. And we've been good friends with the Kathy and James, just dear friends. And so we're like, we haven't seen you guys in a long time, and we go, let's get together. And they're fortunate enough they have a pretty large back porch, and so we just all brought our own booze. I brought a bottle of wine, and Nicole had a bottle of wine. And we went out onto their pretty large back porch, and we were 8-10 feet apart, and we just had our own little shindig with them. And it was wonderful to be able to be, you know, with somebody in person. And it turns out that you really don't get that close to people anyway. I mean, we could easily have like a little thing going on, and just it not be anything that's going to be, you know, dangerous. So we were able to, maybe we're talking a little bit loud, especially after, you know, a glass of wine or two,
right.
But, you know, beyond that, it was just like a normal, you know, nice, you know, summer evening on a back porch. And, you know, you don't need to be so close to someone that you give them a disease or get them infected, but you can be, you know, close enough that you can just really spend a wonderful time with them. And it's something that if you haven't done it with your friends and you happen to have a space that you can do it in, I would definitely highly recommend something like that, because you can be far enough away from someone that you can be safe. Because it was more than 6 feet, it was more like 10 feet or 12 feet. And you still had this, like the same wondrous laughs and the same wondrous conversation going on. So if anyone gets out there that's listening in the audience, you know, you put that into your thinking cap, like, oh, you know, who do we like to get together with? Maybe we can go off and do that. Yeah.
I was thinking more on the virtual side. I don't know if Tony Fauci would agree with your approach, but hey, whatever. What it takes to keep you alive.
We were pretty far apart. You know, and we weren't, and so we actually had our own glasses and things like that. So, and we
Right.
didn't go into their house either.
Right.
And so that was another thing. We didn't like enter into their home.
Right.
And so we were out on their back porch. And then they have a decent sized back porch. It's like a raised deck area. It's pretty cool. I thought that it was safe and very fun.
Right. Have you heard, what was it? Was it in Indiana? Parks were closing. Too many people were not keeping safe distances from each other. Even in large open spaces, they were getting a little too close on walking paths or whatever. So,
Right.
I didn't,
Right. I've been actually starting to run. I've been running the last 4 weeks or so. And so I'm out on the bike path there, the path in Highland.
Mhm.
And I'm surprised how close people get to each other. You know, I definitely am running off to the side there. I'm trying to stay farther away.
Mhm.
You know, not that I haven't been to the store or anything like that, but I have been to the store a couple of times. But you know, I'm surprised how close people are willing to get to each other on the bike path. And it's a bit closer than I would have expected.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly.
Yeah, I know there was Facebook isn't the arbiter of all issues, but people were golfing. People were out golfing. I don't know. Well, one person to a cart. You don't have the pins in. You pay through a window and you just stay away from everybody. You know, I think people are going to need to be doing something. I don't know. I don't want to be the one encouraging people to get together and jam into an old house party or something. Maybe a virtual house party.
Yeah, exactly. And just to be clear too, it was just one other couple. It wasn't like an actual, you know, there wasn't like 50 people there, and everyone just kind of having some, you know, like a normal party. It was just a couple, just the four of us.
Right.
So that part of it was pretty mellow.
I'm cool with that. We're bumping up against the 8:30 hour here. Anybody that you want to, anybody you want to say hello to out there in the worldwide audience?
Definitely, I want to say hello to Jim Phillips out there, and Jim Phillips and his family. I mean, it's you know, we heard the news that he's in the hospital there, and it just, you know, we're all you know, praying for you, Jim, and so just hoping everything goes great.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mike, I appreciate that. Hopefully, he and maybe his family friends are listening. Anybody who can help out in any way, that would be appreciated. All right, Mike, I'm going to roll you off here. Roll your audio out. Thanks for joining us. Can we check back in with you sometime again?
Yeah, absolutely, Ron. Yeah, of course.
Haven't had anybody say no yet. That would be embarrassing. I still haven't yet.
Someone flips the bird.
I thought you were going to be the first one. Forget it. Lose my number. All right, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
All right, guest in, guest out. There he goes. All right, that is pretty much it. We've run over about 8:33 here in the Central Daylight Time Zone. Hopefully everybody has been enjoying these episodes. We made it through 20, Double X episode. If you like it, remember to subscribe and tell your friends. Hit the thumbs up button. I don't know what these people say. I'm not, like I said, organic marketing. Thank you for joining us. We plan to be back here tomorrow for episode 21 of CoVideo Live TV. I don't know exactly who our guests are going to be. I've got a couple things penciled in, but it'll be fun. Let me know if you've enjoyed it. Mention it in the comments. Tell your friends. We'll be up on Facebook as well promoting it. Episode 21 coming at you tomorrow on April 7th, 2020. CoVideo Live TV rolling out. Thank you for joining us.